What's up guys, Crispy here from ETR Gamer, bringing you thief customization, especially with the PvP aspect. Now before I kind of went over in my first video, when you arrive here you get to go through the armor vendors and things like that. What I'll actually be doing right now is going through the complete list of moves and abilities within this weaponsmith. So you'll notice that there's quite an extensive list. Here we go, the Sigils. So quite an extensive list, and it can be a bit daunting out there for players when they first get here what to put on their weapon. By default, you know, for a thief they get 5% more damage and I think 5% more chance to crit, so that'll be passively on your weapons when you first do PvP, but I think there's a lot better options out there. So I'll go through the list and show you which ones I think are pretty good, and we'll just have a look at them all. So these apply to if you're a hunter as well, or I mean I think they're all classes. I've only been here with my hunter as well, and I've noticed that they're exactly the same, so I assume they're the same on all professions within Guild Wars 2, which is fine because they're, you know, pretty cross the board beneficial. So let me just show you first of all what you need to do. You just click them and you click buy, pretty standard. You can buy as many as you like. You can buy 100, you could buy 10. Then you go to your inventory. Here it is, Sigil of Superior Agony. Just double click it with your left mouse and apply it to the weapon. It's going to say, do you want to, you know, upgrade? Click upgrade, but I'm going to actually not go ahead because I've obviously made my own weapons and I don't want to change them. But let's go through it, and I'll pick out some that I liked and what I think is actually pretty good to use. Here the Sigils, they basically apply an effect. So bleeds, you apply lasts 10% longer. When you apply burning, it lasts 10% longer. You kind of get the gist with a Sigil of superior thing. Cripple, 10% longer. This is a 5% crit chance, 5% damage. When you apply a frozen, it lasts 10% longer. So you'll notice with my basilisk venom, freeze the target. Actually, no, that's a turn your foe to stone. So that's actually a stun. I don't think a thief has any freeze abilities. If you're an elementalist though, I can imagine there's one ability that would freeze a foe, so basically that freeze would last 10% longer. Let's go ahead. Poisons last 10% longer, so I can definitely relate to that. Poisons as in ones that cripple, like this one. Your chilled lasts 6 seconds. What's, you know, 10% of 6 seconds, 0.6 of a second, so yeah, not too beneficial, but I can imagine if you were stacking a damaged poison that lasts for like 15 seconds, that can kind of build up there. This immobilize lasts for 3 seconds, so 3.3 seconds, not much of a benefit at 10%, but you know, anything over, you know, 10 or, you know, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, it's that would kind of be beneficial, especially if you put it on both your weapons. So I'm dual wielding daggers. If I put it both on, that's 20% more. Paralyzation, so this is what I was talking with my basilisk venom. Lasts 15% longer, so even though it's 1 second, you know, 15% 1 second, you get an extra 15 milliseconds. Not that important, but I'm sure there's stuns out there that are about 3 seconds. You double stack that, 30% more. That's quite a long stun, bonus extra. Peril, vulnerability lasts 10% longer, and this one is weakness, 10% longer. So they're pretty much all the effects you can put on someone, like you know, burning, bleeding, cripple, things like that, and they're all kind of based around length and duration of those abilities. So yeah, they're the Sigils there. Let's go down to, oh sorry, they're all Sigils, but I don't know, these are just the orange ones, these are the blue ones. Anyway, let's go ahead. Okay, so these are based around kind of stacking and killing an enemy. When you kill an enemy, you get a bonus, and so I'll read through them, and you can kind of see. I would suggest these are more high-end players. These are if you're not dying a lot, like, oh, I'm getting a 10 kill streak. These would really be beneficial to you, but if you know, get a 1 kill, die a couple times, then you know, not so beneficial. So you gain 10% condition damage each time you kill a foe, and it stacks up to 25% until you end when you're down or you swap your weapon. So these are also really bad if you're swapping weapons a lot. You just want to basically stay on the same weapon and stack this up as much as possible. Stamina. Your endurance is refilled every time you kill a foe. So here's your endurance. You know, you kill a foe, you can dash around a lot. I imagine that will have quite a skill cap. Imagine, you know, high-end PvP player that's dodging a lot of moves. You know, his endurance is his life, and he just kills a foe and it gets replenished, and he's just back on the move again, dodging your abilities. So yeah, that could be really good. Superior life, gain 10% healing each time you kill a foe. Healing is basically how effective your heal move is. So hide in the shadows, it would get more and more heal. You can kind of jump into the abilities as well and see where that has an effect, but I won't go into it too much. You are healed whenever you kill a foe, so that's pretty good. I don't know if it's full healed, like full health. If it is, then wow, I should probably give that a shot. But yeah, it might just be a small heal, I'm thinking. It should really label the percentage of health, or at least an amount, but anyway, it's just beta. Each time you kill a foe, you gain a charge. At 26 charges, you are invulnerable for 5 seconds. Pretty awesome, except that would suck if you just killed your 26 enemy and no one else is around, and then, oh shit, I'm invulnerable for 5 seconds. Not really going to do much, I don't think. Unless you could time that perfectly and kill your 26 foe while you're in the pack of like 100 people, and they just blow all the cooldowns on you, but yeah. Bloodlust, you gain 10 power each time you kill a foe, up to 25 stacks, so 250 power, that's quite a lot. Stacker ends on down or weapon swap. Okay, so, I mean, if you're just killing people, this could be better. You just kind of get in a roll, get more and more powerful, yeah, it could be great. Accuracy, precision, so I'm thinking that's exactly the same as Bloodlust. Yep, you just keep stacking 10. Summoning, you gain a charge. You gain a charge when you kill a foe. At 26 charges, you summon a Flesh Reaver. Pretty awesome. Don't know what a Flesh Reaver is. I'm assuming it's something that's gonna destroy people, so that could be cool, especially if you're Necromancer. You get one more pet running around. That's awesome. And you gain 10 seconds of swiftness when you kill a foe. Swiftness is that run speed that you here I've got swiftness now, so 33% movement speed. 10 seconds of it's quite a lot. So I mean, if you kill an enemy and you're in a bad position, you could just run straight out of there quite easily. Okay, so that's all the blue ones. These are the ones that I use primarily, and there's quite a lot more of them, so I'll quickly cover them. These are kind of like enchants. If you're familiar with WoW and how enchants worked in that game, these are very similar. So 30% chance to cause a lightning strike on a critical hit. Can't trigger more than every 5 seconds. Haven't tried that one. Kind of keen to try that. Lightning strike? How scary would that be? You're just getting struck by lightning while a thief is dashing around stabbing you. So you could also apply it to a ranged weapon as well. So yeah. Earth, 60% chance to a 5-second bleed on critical. So you get a critical hit. Well, and hopefully it procs this. 60% chance to it. That's quite pretty good odds. They get a 5-second bleed. I'm not sure if that has a cooldown. If it doesn't, then that could be very effective. Say if I did my unload, and given my high crit chance, you know, a couple of those crit, I could stack up quite a few bleeds on the target, which would burn them down there. Let's go to fire. 30% chance to cause flame blast on critical hit, causing AoE damage. That's pretty cool, especially I would say world v world. You know, like lots of people clumped up together, and you have a 30% chance to do an AoE fire burst. Like hell's yeah, that's gonna turn the tides as well. So it's pretty good. Superior Ice, 30% chance to freeze on critical hit. I've actually got that on my pistol right now, so 30% chance to lock them for 2 seconds. Pretty awesome. That's pretty good. It gives you 2 more seconds to go through another ability or something like that. Blood, lifesteal. That's just, yeah, 30% chance to lifesteal. Apply might, so might increases power, more damage. Vulnerability is obviously weakens the target. You do more damage to them, like less armor, things like that. The difference between these, you might be like, well, might you give more damage, and this is, you know, they make them weaker, so you do more damage. Which would you recommend? Well, vulnerability, if you put vulnerability on a target, obviously if you or more people are attacking that same target, everyone's going to get that added bonus of that they're vulnerable. But I mean, if you just got extra might, that's not really going to affect everyone around you. It's just going to affect yourself. I think the bonus from might is a bit better than the vulnerability debuff. So yeah, you just weigh it up. But I think if you're into PvP and kind of maybe like scheduled PvP, so you're with a couple of buds, you could really kind of work out the best combination to get vulnerability stacking and things like that. Water, so chance to heal nearby enemies. So I'm assuming if someone's standing near you while this triggers, they get a small heal. intelligence, your next move after swapping to this weapon. So when you're in combat and you swap to the weapon, you get a 100% crit chance. That's not really good for me. I would say maybe a warrior that has a low crit chance but really high damage. If they just swap to like a greatsword, their next hit's 100% crit chance. That could be awesome. But given the fact I have like a 60% crit chance, that's not really extra 40% guarantee. It's not that great for me. I'd rather just take my odds. You deal 30% damage on your next attack after swapping to this weapon while in combat. So 30% more damage when you swap to it. Pretty similar to this 100% crit chance. Possibly, if you're a warrior and you're dual wielding axes or swords, you'd have this one on one weapon and Superior Doom on the other. So when you swap to those weapons, your next move is going to do 30% more damage and it's 100% chance to crit. That could work out quite a lot of damage. I think crit is 50% more, so you can actually change the damage, the crit damage factor in that. So if you had a lot of crit damage and you just guaranteed yourself 100% crit chance, then yeah, you could do a lot of damage with that. Let's go down. Okay, you bleed nearby foes when you swap to that weapon. So when you swap to it, people around you just start bleeding. You gain 50% of your endurance, so that's pretty good, especially if you're good at dodging, things like that. Freeze foes for 3 seconds when you swap to it. So when you swap to the weapon, it would probably send out an ice blast, something like that. Leeching. When you swap to the weapon, you steal some life. So I'm assuming your next hit would be a lifesteal hit. And you gain 3 stacks of might for 20 seconds when you swap to this weapon. Pretty good. Also rage, 10% chance to apply frenzy. So frenzy is one of those bonuses there that I think it's attack speed and it also regens initiative faster. And then these last two kind of orange ones, 60% chance to remove a boon. So a boon is basically a buff, and removing it would be, say, if the enemy has a lot of buffs on them, you have 60% chance to remove it. That's pretty awesome. And this one, remove a condition on critical hit. That would remove a condition on yourself, I believe. So if you're crippled and then you're shooting out and this purity triggers, you would remove that that debuff on yourself. So anyway, guys, that's all the sigils for your weapons. Yeah, there's so many, hey. So much customization, really up to the player themselves, what they want and how their game style. Look through them, try them out. They're free. Like, I mean, there's nothing stopping me from just picking them all up and going through them. So, except I've done a bit of reading and kind of testing, and I'm pretty happy with this crit chance and stun 2-second freeze on critical hits. So I've kind of got my weapons down pat, but it's really up to you, especially because I haven't tried like warrior or anything like that. I've only tried thief, and I'm probably oblivious to the perfect combination as well. So if you're another thief out there with a pretty good combination, or you want just to discuss more about that, yeah, leave a comment in the description and I'll definitely get back to it and talk about it. Be great to get some feedback on that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, this is Crispy from ETR Gamer. Hope you've enjoyed my Guild Wars 2 footage.